All right guys, hey, it's Tim with Blues Hog. Today we're gonna do backyard ribs hot and fast. I've got St. Louis spares and I've got a rack of baby backs here. So we're gonna hit both of these. We're gonna cook them at the same time. I want you guys to see how easy it is to do these hot and fast ribs. And we were also gonna show the difference between the babies and the spares at the same time. So the first thing I'm gonna do, these are already trimmed up. These are just regular grocery store ribs, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and trim off the really thin ends. All right, this is gonna be a basic trim. You can take some of this tip off here if you wanna square it up. Not a huge deal, but I like to make it look a little more presentable. Some of this heavy fat you can deal with if you want. Now we wanna take the membrane off. The easiest way to take the membrane off, and this works every time, take the paper towel, go about 2 bones down, in between, pick up on that membrane, and before you pull it, make sure you square it up. Give it a pull and you should get pretty much all the membrane off just like that. Pretty simple. That paper towel is the key, so don't skip that step. Same thing on the baby backs. Get between the bones. Square it up first. Give it a pull. All right, we're ready to inject the ribs. Now, before we do that, I want to tell you the key to picking out a good rack of ribs at the grocery store. First of all, you want to take your hands and feel that for thickness right here, we want to make sure we've got some good marbling. Some of that white fat and striations in there is what we were looking for. And then just a thick, straight bones if possible. These are kind of medium. Same thing with the baby backs. You really don't want any bones showing through. Nice marbling, pretty well trimmed up already. So as you're looking through, don't just take the top one. Try to get something that's, a little thicker. It'll cook up better and it'll remain juicier and have a better bite. So now that we're ready to inject the ribs, I'm gonna grab our pork marinade, Blues Hog pork marinade mix. And just like it says on here, it says a 1/2 cup to 2 cups of water. I'm gonna do a half rate, so I'm gonna go about a 1/4 cup, which is, in my mind, about a capful. Put it in your jar. And 16 ounces of water. Give that a quick shake. Until it's dissolved, and it really dissolves fairly quickly. So this step you can actually do the night before if you like to prep ahead of time. You could do it 30 minutes to an hour before, it's fine too. I'd like to give it about an hour if we have that kind of time. So then I'm just gonna take my injector, and this is just ordinary injector. You can find these at most grocery stores or even like Tractor Supply or something like that. So what I like to do first is go bone side up and just go in between each bone. And as I push the liquid in there, I'm just pulling that needle back. Then you can flip it over and do the back side. Now people ask me all the time, what's the difference between a baby back and a spare rib? So the St. Louis spare rib is gonna come more from the belly meat near the bacon, whereas the baby back is also called a loin back. It's rolling up the back side near the loin meat, which is right here. So you can see it kind of curls. So in general, that would sit about like this, okay, on the animal. So we're gonna have it coming back. This is the belly, this is rolling up towards the top of the back. And therefore, the baby back's got some of this belly meat up here, which is obviously dark red. It's gonna be more tender and flavorful, but you've also got some loin meat up here to deal with. So see how much lighter in color it is, more like a white meat, like a pork chop. So these can be more difficult to cook because you've got 2 different types of meat here. You've got the dark meat and the lighter colored meat, which could be a little bit drier at the end. So make sure you flip these baby backs over, hit that loin meat really, really well, because that's the one that's gonna dry out first. But you can see it's really taking that injection. All right, now we've got the ribs injected, and the next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and apply the seasoning. So we've got some of that liquid from the injection, and I didn't wipe it all off. I'm gonna go ahead and use that as my binder, so to speak. It's gonna have a little bit of moisture, and it's gonna tack onto that rub and start making that rub bind together with the meat. So the first thing I want to do here is take my Cajun Bayou. This is going to be a little spicier, a little saltier rub, so I want to put it on first. I want that salt from this seasoning to start getting down into the meat. Next up is going to be sweet and savory. This is our all-purpose barbecue rub, and you can really lay it on heavy. It's not going to be overpowering. It's got a lot of sugar, a lot of paprika, and some salt and pepper as well. I like this original dry rub. This is a Memphis style barbecue seasoning. So I'm gonna put a little bit on, just a little bit, and you can see how it darkens up that color in a hurry. Now if I want more of this one, it works very, very well at the end. I wanna let them sit for about 15 minutes, and you can just kind of tap it in a little bit. I don't wanna rub it because it's gonna get caked up and gooey. Same process on the top. I've got my Cajun Bayou. Come back with the sweet and savory. And then once again, we finish it with original. Really make that color pop. Let it sit for 15 minutes and it's ready to go in the pit. All right, we've got our Blues Hog natural lump charcoal in there. We've gone ahead and lit it. You want to put your basket about 3/4 of the way full, light it from the top with a lighter cube, and give it about 15 minutes to get a group of coals about a softball size lit. And that means you're ready to put your lid on, adjust your dampers down, and that'll be about 15 to 20 minutes before you're ready to actually put the ribs on. So the first thing I'm gonna do before I put the ribs on, I'm just gonna give it a nice little sprinkle of pecan chips. I'm gonna go ahead and start bone side down with the ribs. Bone side down, meat side up. Just go ahead and place them. I tend to start at an angle, it doesn't really matter. You get them in there, make sure you've got airflow in between them, they're not touching. We wanna make sure the air is circulating in there. And then just place the lid on. It's been about 30 minutes, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and open the lid. Oh yeah, we're cooking. I'm just gonna give this about a 180. You can see here we're starting to tack up a little bit on the top. These guys are really moist, so I want to get to where the rub is start to get tacky. You can still touch it, so when we're ready to flip them, that rub should be tight and won't stick to your finger. All right, it's been right about an hour. Let's check these guys out. We've got some nice color, and this is what I'm talking about. That rub is set up. See how finger comes off clean? A little wet in some of the lower spots, but that looks good to me. We got nice color, and that's what we want, a little bit of fat bubbling and dancing there on the bottom. That looks perfect. Get these baby backs flipped, and that's it. We're gonna let them roll. We're at the 1.5 hour mark total in this cook. All I'm doing right now is just giving them a spin. The reason I'm spinning is sometimes your charcoal will burn from one side to the other, and it's a good idea to look down in there and see where the hotter coals are. A lot of times it'll go to one side, and if we spin them halfway through, we're just evening out that heat. But these look good. About another 30 minutes and they'll be ready to wrap. It's been right at the 2 hour mark. We're gonna go ahead and take these ribs off. They're looking beautiful. I wanna try to save as much of that liquid on top as I can. They've got nice color. Take them inside, we'll wrap them up. All right, guys, this is a very important step in the rib process. It's been 2 hours on the smoker total so far. Now it's time to wrap them up in foil. We're gonna let them braise and just kind of steam till they're all the way tender. You can see we're starting to lose moisture on the ribs, so that's my indicator that I want to wrap them up and let them finish cooking in this humid environment to keep them moist. That way we save all the moisture and we don't dry them out. So the first thing I'm gonna do, of course, I'm hitting them with Tennessee Red. This is a thin vinegar-based sauce. It is perfect as a marinade or a mop. Next thing I want to do is take coconut palm sugar. Now this sugar tastes kind of like brown sugar, but it's got a higher burn point. So when you put it on here and put it back on the smoker, it won't burn like brown sugar is going to give you a burnt flavor because it burns at a lower temp. But this stuff is better. Next up, I'm going to take God's Water Sun Drop. Now dump this on the side, about 1/4 of a can or so. That's my liquid. I like to use Kerrygold butter. It's the good stuff. And place those on the side as well. If you place them on top, it'll leave a bleached out mark on there. So, and that's it. You can add a little more seasoning if you'd like. I'll go ahead and hit them with a little sweet and savory just for fun. They already look gorgeous. Now we're gonna go ahead and just wrap them up. I like to double wrap in foil. We'll take 2 sheets because we don't want the edges of the ribs or anything to poke a hole in it. Go ahead and wrap them up tight. Be ready to put them back on. Same thing with the baby backs. We'll go ahead and put these back on for about 30 more minutes. All right, baby back rib on. Spare rib on. Just be careful so you don't scoot them, so you don't poke a hole in the foil. You don't want to lose that liquid. 300 degrees for about 30 minutes. All right, so it's been about 2.5 hours total cook time. We had them on the grill for 2 hours. We wrapped them up in foil for the half hour. Now my temp that I'm going for is usually between 208 and 210, 211 there, 212, 203, 209. So I think that's where we want to be, right? So we'll go ahead and take these off. They should be fairly flexible at this point. Okay, let's open them up and see what's going on here. Oh yeah, perfect bone pullback. A couple of things you're looking for when these ribs are close to being done, right? The bones pull back from the top. And then what I like to do even more so than the Thermapen is to go ahead and pick them up. See how I can pick them up and they're barely flexible? If I shake them too hard, they're gonna break, right? So that's when I know that these ribs are ready to come off. And now a key thing we wanna do when they come off, you can flip them over like I did there if you'd like. Key thing we wanna do is just wrap them up tight and let them rest for about 20 minutes. Okay, so they can sit on the counter, you can put a towel over them. That's all you've really gotta do, just let them rest, because these ribs have been cooking hot and fast. They've been blowing through those temps. We wanna let them slowly come down through those temps again. That way they continue to tenderize and stay juicy and have tons of moisture. Let's check out these baby backs. Remember, we wrapped those meat side down. So I'm gonna pick them up and see how they're starting to break just like that. That's when you know, because if I shake them too much, they're gonna go ahead and break in half. Those ribs are ready. Same thing, we wanna let them rest, 20 to 30 minutes. So these ribs have been resting for about 20 minutes. Some of that steam is kind of leveled out. Go ahead and take them out of the liquid. First thing I want to do is hit them with a little bit of original sauce. And I like to go with an original and raspberry chipotle blend on my ribs. You guys can certainly pick any sauce you want, but this will give you a sweet, sticky, a little bit of chipotle spice in the back. Same with our baby backs. We're gonna go ahead and set the sauce for about 10 minutes. All right, it's been 10 minutes. I'm gonna check these ribs. The sauce is tacked up a little bit. They look perfect. Got a nice bend but don't break to them. Let's go ahead and cut these babies up. It's go time. Look at these spare ribs, perfect glaze. We got the sauce tacked up, combination with that finishing rub on there. It's a good look. So what I like to do is find the bones. You cut from the top, baby backs, I'll go ahead and flip over and cut. A lot easier when you flip them over like this to find where your bones are so you don't hit them. That's good. Perfect bite. This is the easiest way to cook ribs in your backyard. Total cook time of about 2.5 hours. We let them rest, we slice them up. Beautiful backyard, hot and fast barbecue ribs, Blues Hog style.